Hello and welcome to our final video of Falmouth Commodores offseason content, with it being game week for your 2025 Falmouth Commodores. And this is a new roster shaping up, so we have one final team preview for the Doors this season here at the beautiful Falmouth Community Television right off of Dillingham Avenue in Falmouth. A special thank you to Alan Russell and everyone with FCTV allowing us to use this beautiful space preseason and during the 2025 Commodores season. And this is your 2025 broadcasting team. Ryan Martin alongside Ben Haller and Andrew Della Piana. Guys, after being with you through TV screens and computer screens on Zoom, finally great to be in person.
I mean, you guys are a lot better looking in person than I thought. So that's great to see your beautiful smiling faces.
I get that a lot too, I think so. But I'm excited for baseball. I'm excited for baseball with really what's been, I think, some of the best regionals and super regionals we've seen in a few years. What I like about it, a lot of past and present Falmouth Commodores represented, not only the regionals, super regionals, but also the World Series as well.
Yeah, we have a fantastic men's college World Series. A lot of chaos so far.
Yeah, Murray State making their first appearance. Good for the Racers and John Morant and his fan club, right?
I know. Morant was excited on Twitter. But we're excited for the Falmouth Commodores this season. Here's another look as of Saturday, June 7th of your 2025 Falmouth Commodores roster. Those are the 30 players that are signed up to play for the Commodores right now. A star next to each player's name indicates that they're on the opening day roster and should be all set to go for June 14th, this Saturday at Veterans Field in Chatham. Guys, that day feels like it's been long coming, but now it is game week for the Commodores. So let's take a look at one pitcher, outfielder, infielder, and catcher that you are most excited to see pitch or play for the Commodores this season. And we'll start with those pitchers. Ben, I'll start with you. A horned frog that you're most looking forward to seeing wear a Falmouth Commodores jersey this season.
Yeah, I'm going to go to Trevor Baumler to start here for TCU. Somebody, a little bit of recency bias. He played well as of late. Talked about some Commodores being represented in the regionals. He pitched an inning and two-thirds, didn't give up a run against USC in those regionals. That's after maybe some struggles as a freshman early on. They threw him into that Sunday starter role. Once he kind of was in that reliever role, he settled in a little bit.
Andrew?
And a guy who's made some serious jumps in his collegiate career. You want to talk about a guy from Stetson, North Florida, now to Bama, who just committed there a couple of days ago, is Caden Humphrey. Someone I'm really excited to see as that 8th, 9 kind of setup guy, if you will, for this Commodores team, because his strikeout numbers, his save numbers were fantastic. He had 15 this past season, a sub-3 ERA in 30 innings pitched. So if you need that go-to 8th, 9 guy out of the bullpen, Caden Humphrey's going to be your guy this season.
And certainly not the last Crimson Tide member under head coach Rob Vaughn will be talking about in this team preview episode. So again, the roster for Falmouth and a lot of these Cape League teams changing so frequently. We did one of these episodes on June 2nd. This June 7th roster looks different. You saw Baumler in that original video, but Humphrey wasn't there. Another guy who wasn't there, but will be with the Falmouth Commodores. Guys, I'm going to the ACC, where Matthew Dallas has been a stud for Wake Forest this season. And when you look at those 30-player rosters so far for Falmouth, the only returning Falmouth Commodore from a year ago as of this roster right now is Matthew Dallas, who made a team-high 6 starts last year for the Commodores, a very respectable 5.76 ERA. Well, his 25 innings pitched were the second most by a Door this season. So that is what Matthew Dallas did at the Gov last year. But I'm looking back to his most recent start, going a career-high 7 2/3 innings against Cincinnati. Guys, in the postseason, Dallas looked great in his final start with Wake Forest this season. Again, 7 2/3, gave up 8 hits, 3 earned runs. That was a 10-3 win for the Demon Deacons to advance to the Knoxville Regional. You gotta love what Dallas is doing right before he gets here to the Commodores, and this is a really good pitching staff overall, which was a struggle area for the Doors in 2024.
Yeah, it had to be the most important thing for this organization this offseason, now going into this season. I mean, a sub-8 ERA and second worst in the league is not going to win you a lot of games. The big reason why the Doors did not make the postseason a year ago. So getting the pitching at the forefront for this team right now has to be your biggest thing going into 2025.
You talk about Dallas, and I think it's good to get that experience. I think that's what I see out of this roster a little bit more, is not only the talent, a lot of guys have the talent, but also you have a lot of guys who got innings at their schools and a lot of power conferences as well.
Yeah, and Dallas, a guy who has the SEC experience, did his
played at Tennessee
freshman year at Tennessee, then goes over to Wake Forest. So he advanced and was able to benefit from the transfer portal. A guy who's looking to do the same is an outfielder that you're looking forward to watching, Andrew.
Yeah, John Smith III started at Pensacola State, kind of a little similar to Caden Humphrey, if you will. Started at Pensacola State, made his way over to South Alabama, now going to be in the transfer portal. A guy I really expect to see at a Power 5 in just a couple of weeks. His numbers at Pensacola were fantastic. Bat over 350 there in his 2 years there. Then you bring him over to South Alabama as well. He hits over 314, leads the team in hits and runs scored as well. well. Brings a lot of good of that contact. And once he gets on base, he's speedy as well. Had 10-plus stolen base in his first year and only a year down there in South Alabama. So someone who's going to be a really big pickup for whoever gets him in the transfer portal, and definitely a lot of good speed in the outfield as well.
That's a tremendous team under Mark Calvi there at South Alabama. And so Smith looking to advance his baseball career and enter the transfer portal. Another guy who is with South Alabama looking to do the same. We'll mention later. But then we'll go over to the Big Ten with a new addition to the Big Ten. And it's been Adrian Lopez who's making some noise.
Yeah, Ryan, it feels weird to call him a Big Ten guy. Both you and I are Big Ten guys. But USC in that Big Ten now. Adrian Lopez, look, when you're this early into a season, into summer ball, the roster changes so much, and you never know what the roster is going to look like in 3 days. So it's important to have someone who can play a lot of different positions. That's what Adrian Lopez brings to this Falmouth team. He can play the outfield. He can play the infield. Oh, yeah, he led the Big Ten in doubles with 21 last year.
We're really excited to see him there. We mentioned as well that there will be some more Crimson Tide members mentioned here out of the University of Alabama. Coleman Mizell has been a really interesting prospect now. A rising junior, was the designated hitter last year with Alabama. A couple of guys transferring from Alabama, but I think this team under Rob Vaughn is going to need the experience of guys who were Crimson Tide members last season. And Mizell, again, going into his junior season, he only had 4 starts when he was a freshman. That increased to 42 during his sophomore campaign. He also increased his batting average by 60 points with those extended batting or at-bats, guys. So I'm excited to see what he can do with some at-bats in Falmouth. I'm excited to see what these infielders can do with some more at-bats with the Commodores, guys. When you look around that infield diamond, Ben, who are you most excited to see with the Commodores?
Look, I think one of the most fun stories to tell this season is going to be Justin Osterhaus for so many different reasons. He started at Purdue Fort Wayne, probably had the talent in the season to transfer to a bigger school, and definitely did with Alabama. Didn't have a choice, though, because Purdue Fort Wayne no longer has a baseball program. Oh, yeah, he had one of the best games, some people are saying maybe ever in college baseball, a 5-for-5 day where he hit 4 home runs, he had a stolen base, the walk-off grand slam in the 10th inning. He was also the winning pitcher. He pitched an inning in the 10th as well.
Mizell's new teammate and Humphrey's new teammate being there at Alabama. So he's been a great player and another.
It's like a Gordie Howe hat trick on steroids, if you will. That's impressive stuff there. A couple of Osterhaus parties this year, it sounds like we're going to have.
I like that a lot.
This is going to be my call. I'm going to like that. Osterhaus party. None of you better take it.
So you're calling the house party?
Yes, I got the house party right there.
Andrew, infielder, you want to see?
Ben Royo out of Texas A&M just finished up his sophomore season down there in Aggieland. He's someone who really transformed his game this season. In early March, this was not looking like it was going to be a good season for him, where he was batting around 240. Then the heart of SEC play starts to come around, and you're like, oh, the big bad SEC. We got 13 teams in the conference tournament. What did he do? He upped his batting average by 60 points up to get to 300. His discipline, guys, has been so improved in these last couple of months, where he's not fishing at stuff in the dirt anymore, the high fastballs. He's waiting for those pitchers, and again, really talented pitchers in the SEC to start making mistakes, and I think him in the middle infield is going to be very important for this team as well as this season.
An important spot for the Commodores to get some really good at-bats. Guys, those are 2 really good SEC bats, but I'm leaving the Power 5 for the first time out of 2 times. I'm going to do that here in this preview. Looking at Kyle Morrison, the newest Southern Mississippi Golden Eagle after he transferred from South Alabama. We were just mentioning there with Mark Calvi, but for Morrison, the third baseman, was great last year for South Alabama, across 50 starts, a 289 average, so now going to a Golden Eagles team, guys, under the tutelage of Christian Ostrander. They've had a decade straight of 40-plus wins. They're going to rely on the third baseman there in Kyle Morrison. But before Morrison can give his talents to the Golden Eagles in the spring of 2026, I'm excited to see what he does in the summer of 2025 right here in sunny Falmouth. Those are infielders we're looking to see. And guys, we haven't even mentioned it yet, but this is an entirely new team and a new era in Falmouth under first-year field manager Jared Saltzlamakia. If his name sounds familiar, yeah, that's the 3-time World Series catcher with the Red Sox. The Marlins have a long MLB career. So, guys, you know we have to end off by talking about the catchers. Let's go to the ACC and a power-hitting bat that you're really looking forward to seeing, Ben.
I like a catcher that can mash, and we're going to go to the ACC with David McCann out of Virginia Tech. Look, you play at an ACC school, and you're a catcher, and you're one of the best hitters on the team. 11 bombs this year, an OPS of over 970. I think this might be, when it comes to the NCAA and schools, this might be the most proven position group on this Falmouth team. It makes sense under Salty.
I'm really excited to see what that Hokie can do here with the Commodores. Andrew, you just mentioned Aggie. How about another one that you're looking forward to seeing?
Let's stay in Aggieland, College Station. It's beautiful this time of year. They got Kyle Field, over 109,000. But no, it's the baseball team we're talking about right now. And the catcher I'm most looking forward to seeing, Connor Bear Harrison. Did I scare you guys there?
A little bit.
That's okay. He's going to be scaring opposing pitchers this summer, guys. Someone who's not only good offensively, but defensively as well. Came over from St. Mary's, was a West Coast Conference freshman team, in his freshman season. Someone who really set the tone there, and he was part of that #1 recruiting class with Texas A&M. Again, they got a lot of weight in their shoulders, not making the NCAA tournament after being the #1 ranked seed in the preseason. So he's going to be really out there to set the tone, and was an everyday starter behind the plate for the Aggies.
You can't not scare pitchers if your name is Bear Harris.
Well, it's interesting. He started as Connor Harrison with St. Mary's, then he went to Bear Harrison with the Aggies. So we'll have those conversations.
We'll get to that confirmation for
absolutely.
sure. Whatever it is, he's going to be scary for the other Cape League teams. And a guy who, again, might not be at the Power 5 level yet, but certainly has Power 5 potential in the bat. I'm looking at former Cornell Big Red, now in the transfer portal, with Mark Quattrani, the rising junior. You mentioned how Bear was great as a freshman. How about the Ivy League Rookie of the Year? And Quattrani also was a first-team All-Ivy League selection there, and has gotten that accolade in 2 consecutive years because he's batted over .315 in both of his years with Cornell. In the transfer portal right now, but I could see him make a move like Osterhaus, going from Purdue, Fort Wayne, up to Alabama. We'll see where Quattrani ends up, but we're also excited to see him with the Falmouth Commodores. Guys, you look at this roster overall, those 30 players are going to provide a lot of talent for this Commodores team that's looking to get back into the playoffs, Ben.
Yeah, I think, again, this offense, you see the numbers that they put up at their schools and past summer leagues. I think it's all right there. It's proven. You kind of know what you're getting out of the hitters. The pitching staff is going to be a lot better than last year, in my opinion. That's what's going to separate this team from last year's team.
I think the word I keep coming back to about this team and this franchise is new, fresh, clean, out with the old. This team is looking for its first championship in 45 years with Jared Saltamakio coming in, a new coaching staff as well. Really excited to see what this franchise is building on for 2025 here.
It's going to be a good time at the Gov and a fun time to be a Falmouth Commodores fans. Saturday, June 14th at Veterans Field in Chatham. Opening day is finally here as it's game week. Myself, Andrew Della Piana, will be on the call for that one. But finally, guys, it's no longer off-season content. It is season content for your 2025 Falmouth Commodores.
Let's dance, boys. Let's do it. Time to have some fun on Cape Cod.
Let's open the door to a new era.
We're opening the door and roll doors. We will see you in Chatham for Game 1 on June 14th alongside Ben Haller, Andrew Della Piana. I'm Ryan Martin. That's your 2025 Falmouth Commodores season preview because the 2025 season is here for the Doors.